What's going on, everybody? Mike McFarland here, the Lake Fork Guide, giving you a public rundown for the first week of January. Remember, with these public rundowns, with really all rundowns, that we try to do 2 rundowns per week. We film on Tuesdays, we film on Thursdays, and then they get uploaded and reach the air by Wednesdays and Fridays at the latest. Sometimes they come up a little bit earlier. Being that this is the first one of the year, I did miss the Tuesday this week, and I apologize. Lots of things going on, breaking in the new year, getting set up for the new year. But listen, everything is good, and we're going to get caught up. We're going to give you 2 reports next week, but let's get you one for this weekend if you're going to be going fishing on Lake Fork, okay? Water temperatures are cold, 48 to 51 degrees. Is cold water. For Florida strain bass, you should expect slow and tough fishing. I've got some strategies and some things I'll share with you here in just a minute that can help. 0 to 1 clarity, and we're holding 401.20. That's really about 1 foot 9 inches, 10 inches below full pool. For every 0.25 is 3 inches. So we're 0.80 below full pool. I'm sorry, 1.80. So we're literally, again, about 1 foot 10 inches below full pool. Great shape. The lake will reach full pool this spring, being that we're that close already. In fact, we'll probably end up having to open gates and let water go, which we haven't done in a couple, 2-3 years. So this aspect, level-wise, we're in great shape. Temperature-wise, again, it's cold and it's normal. Mark Pack used to say, when the lake gets below 54 degrees, break out your flip and stick and go pitching in the creeks and channels and pitch all the wood and timber that you can. He also say when it gets below 50 degrees, 48, 49 degrees, the best place to fish from is your couch at home. Doesn't mean you can't catch them, but there's some strategies. And there's also some things and equipment and evolution as we've evolved as fishermen that's changing that game too. Where I'm going with that is live scope. If you are a live scoper, if you know how to live scope, you need to be very good with it and proficient with it. But you can find a lot of very, very big fish, giant fish right now in the main lake creeks and mouths of the creeks. They're anywhere from 12 to 28 feet of water, but they're in the deep timber. It's very difficult, especially if there's any wind. The main lake can be pretty rough. And that kind of fishing is your target oriented, finding the fish and casting to the fish. Jerk baits, swim baits, Alabama rigs, glide baits, spoons, all of those can be very effective using that style of fishing, live scope. If you're not good at live scope, I don't suggest you go try it. You're going to be frustrated and you won't build any confidence and you probably won't catch any fish. Hire a guide. There's several guides on the lake that are really, really good at it. I don't do the live scoping thing, but I've got several. Jay Bonner is excellent at it, and I've got several others that I can refer you to if you're looking to do the live scoping thing. There's a couple of them. Jack York is amazing. He's absolutely amazing at it. So anyways, let's move on. The secondary bite, the way I would approach it, is to find them in the creek swings and creek channels. Now this you're not going to do in the main lake. You're not going to do it at the mouths of all the creek arms and coves. You're going to go into the creeks. You're going to go halfway back, not all the way back. Then you're going to fish range from probably 12 to 24 feet of water. But you want the creek bends and creek swings. Same thing. When they swing and make a bend, one side is the bend, the other is an underwater point. Also where the channel swings near the shoreline. If you have the channel going right down the middle of the creek and all of a sudden it goes all the way over to the bank and it's the channel bank now, that's the shoreline with trees and things. Something about channel banks in the winter, fish love them. But you're going to basically go to Texas rigs and jigs. Texas rig creature baits, I like them with less appendages, okay? More of the straight tail stuff. Even, believe it or not, a Texas rig Cinco or V&M chopstick is great this time of year. Dead stick it, fish it very slow. And or not a football jig, but a flipping jig. A good rattling, sandtone rattling jig or flipping jig. Your best colors are going to be black and blues, black and amber, or believe it or not, black, amber, and green. Have something green. A lot of times black, amber with some green mylar is a great color. And keep in mind black and blue and then green pumpkin trailer or green pumpkin jig, black and blue trailer. Have some contrast. There's a little bit of decent public information for you. One more great place that you can expect to find afternoon fish, and it's what I like to do because I don't like to be cold, is if I'm going to fish this time of year, I prefer to sleep in, have a nice warm breakfast and coffee, and I don't hit the lake until about 10 or 11 in the morning. And I'm going to go look for warm trended areas, meaning places where the sun has spent plenty of time shining on them. Red clay shorelines, red clay points, concrete. There's all kinds of concrete on the lake. A lot of launch ramps, private launch ramps in people's backyards. Bridge corners, bridge pylons, anything hard that can absorb the sun in those shallow areas will warm trend considerably. Sometimes on the right day, has to be a warm trending day with no wind. Those warm trended areas, if you use your brain and you're really focused and you watch your sonar when you get in those areas, check those areas, go up shallow and see, is it 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees warmer? You can be out offshore in the main lake and it's 49 degrees and pull up onto the bridge corner itself and get right up on the corner, and the first few feet of the corner will be 55 degrees. Those fish will sunbathe. They'll get up there in that warm water. Believe it or not, your best bite's going to be between 12 and 4 p.m. Middle of the day bite. Rattle traps or lipless crankbaits, jerk baits, and square bills tend to be my favorite go-tos if I'm looking for that type of pattern. Other than that, I really want you to expect that we are in the heart of winter now. It's cold, and it's going to remain cold. We have our coldest spell approaching us right now, the next 4 to 5 weeks, 6 weeks or so. And you just don't come to Lake Fork expecting to catch a bunch of fish. It's a great time to catch a giant fish because the eggs are growing. The females already know that spring is coming. And here's how they know. The winter solstice happened on December 17th, which means that's the shortest day of the year. From December 17th, we have begun to grow longer and longer. Okay, now we're only a couple weeks into this, but the days are growing 1 minute longer every day. This tells Mother Nature spring is on the way. The days are growing. We're springing forward. The days are not shrinking anymore like fall. The day's not falling. The day's growing. So over the next few weeks, that will get faster. We'll literally have, right now, it's only about 5 or 6 minutes accumulative for a week. In another 6 weeks, it's going to be much more expedited. We're going to start growing the days longer, faster. And that cues these fish to start to pre-stage. Not stage, but pre-stage. These fish will start getting in these areas near these spawning flats, near the spawning grounds, getting ready so that their movement is short and sweet. And here's why. We warm up so fast here in Lake Fork. We also cool trend back down. I call it the Texas two-step. But I have seen places like Long Branch, the back of Little Caney, the back of Glade. I've seen them warm up in 3 or 4 days of a good warm trend, say mid-February. I've seen them warm up as much as 10 to 15 degrees in just a few days. The most I've ever seen is 22 degrees in 1 week. In a 5 to 6 day warm trend, 5 in a row. Warm, 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 warm nights, warm days, warm nights, warm days. We warmed up 22 degrees in the back of Little Caney and Long Branch. Okay? Those fish will go for that water like that, all right? Now, what happens a lot of times is we'll have a cold front, knock it back down, and they pull back out. But you got to keep that in mind. The winter solstice, so the days are growing longer. We're past that. Days are growing longer. Warm trends are really effective right now. We can be the first week of February, have a cool warm trend, and man, you can go smash some really big fish that are moving up into Glade. And it's just a way to be, it's a way to pay attention to the movements in and movements out, the shuffle, the Texas two-step. They move in, they move out, they move in, they move out. Find where they're coming from, and that's where you're going to be fishing now. The creeks, the creek bends, the mouths, etc. I've just put this all together for you. All right, that's what to expect. Listen, if you want more, remember that I do an upgraded members only rundown. It's a subscription-based channel, but I have 5 other guides that we give other information for multiple other lakes through Dallas. We do Hubbard, Ray Hubbard. We do Lavon. We do Possum Kingdom. We do O.H. Ivy. We do Palestine. We do Lake Athens. We are now even giving reports for Sam Rayburn. I give you a little bit more information for around here like Lake Welsh, Winnsboro, and sometimes other smaller lakes like Holbrook or Gilmer. So if you would like more information, please look in the link below this video, or the description, I'm sorry, the description below this video, there's a link to become a member. Subscribe. It's $4.99 a month. Give it a try. If you don't get something from it or you don't like the upgraded information, then unsubscribe. It's real simple. Remember this, I also give much more detailed Lake Fork information. Now, right now, I'm not going to lie to you, there's not a lot more to tell you about Lake Fork. But here in the spring, when the spring gets going, I tell the exact places that I'm catching my big fish. I tell the exact baits, the line, the rod, the reel, the retrieve, the how-to, just like you're getting the free information from the guide trips on a twice a week. So again, I'm inviting you to upgrade from your public subscription to the members only side. I'd love to have you. All right. With that being said, I think I wished everybody a Happy New Year last week prior to the New Year coming, but I wish you all a great 2024, and I hope you have excellent fishing. Hope this report finds you well. God bless you all. Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide.